You are performing every steps well. The final answers, you are writing the options incorrect. This is right. If force is perpendicular to velocity, then the circular motion is there. And force is directed towards negative y-axis. And I didn't understand how have you written negative y-axis, like what you have written. So just mention the points clearly and match the options properly. See, if you are attempting the questions well till here, you are attempting everything well till here, and at the end if you are not able to match the options, then there is no uh, there is no marks for your incorrect option, right? If even if you're not getting the right answer, you are attempting, see here the steps and everything went well, but see if even if at the last moment if you're matching the wrong option, your marks will be gone. So be careful. E option was something else, D option was, this wasn't E. So check these properly. And again I'm saying one thing, in the homework portion, please don't use your internet. Do however you are able to do, whatever you are able to solve. Okay, now see, one more thing that I want to discuss with you is regarding the syllabus part. See, because on Sunday also, you had a class with me and it got cancelled because you had to prepare for this bios paper. Now, do you have any other board exam left?
No, ma'am. Done with
No,
all.
ma'am.
So, see, 2 hours class is fine, but since 2 classes have also gone wasted, right? Monday we didn't put any class, Sunday's class got cancelled. On Friday, one extra class will be needed. So, are you both available on Friday? Any time for an extra class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then. Let us continue with this. See, chapter 4th, let us complete this, and I have to start with chapter 5th also right now. And EMI also, we'll do it today. Yes, magnetic moment of coil. So, sir has already mentioned you when he was discussing electrostatics. He told you that the magnetic moment of coil is NIA. This is what I was asking in the last class. Remember, whenever you have the coil, N means the number of turns. Here, when we are talking about N means the number of turns. Number of turns. I is the current, A is the area of the coil. Okay, and magnetic moment is perpendicular to the coil. So these things come in the statement. Then you have the concept of torque. Why magnetic moment? You have to take the perpendicular area vector you have to consider. Whenever you have magnetic flux, electric flux, magnetic moment, area vector means you have to drop a perpendicular to the surface. Then comes the concept of torque. Torque is this magnetic moment multiplied to the magnetic field. In electrostatics, I think you have not, yeah, you have done the dipole moment also. Dipole moment is also completed, yes. So in dipole moment, you have seen what's the formula of electric dipole?
Dipole
Q into
moment.
2A.
Yeah, dipole moment, electric
Q into
force.
2A.
Yes, charge into 2A, right? 2A means the separation between the charges. So when we talk about the electric force is P cross E. So instead of P, you have magnetic moment. Instead of E, you have the magnetic field. So M cross B is MB sine theta, NIA B sine theta. NIA is from your magnetic moment. Next you have is potential energy. Formula of potential energy is minus M dot B, which is written as MB cos theta. Now, these are the three cases which are important for you to know. Pay attention in today's class because we have to complete lots of portions today. So, when the coil is aligned like this, perpendicular to the magnetic field, okay, so we have to always take and consider this area vector. This area vector, the angle, when we write this angle, whenever you're putting these angles are what? These angles are angles between the area vector and magnetic field, not between the plane of the coil. Always drop this perpendicular to the plane of the coil in whichever direction it is. So when we are talking about the potential energy of the coil, see, these are the three cases. In the first case, the angle made between the area vector and magnetic field is 0. So torque is also 0 because your sign is 0. Sine theta, sine 0 degree is 0. Here, when you put the value of theta as 0 in this potential energy, see cos 0 degree is 1. So your torque is 0, but potential energy is minus mb, which is a minimum value and a stable value. If you put it parallel, coil is put parallel to magnetic field. Area vector will be perpendicular to the magnetic field. So theta is 90 degree, cos 90, this becomes 0. But sine 90 is 1. So your torque is maximum in this case. Getting it? In torque, you have sine theta. In potential energy, you have cos theta. So just see the variations of answers. If area vector is taken in the opposite direction, this is anti-parallel. Means angle between the magnetic field and area vector is 180 degree. So similar to the first case, torque 0, U is mb. Difference is that you're getting a positive potential energy here. And so this is unstable. Okay. When you have the negative potential energy, it is stable, because negative potential energy tells you that your system is bounded. So it is much stable, and mb will be maximum here. So these are the things which are important. Okay. So this is a question. Just write down the question. Written the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is a coil of n turns, radius r, current I, and moment of inertia I. Okay, this is released from rest in uniform magnetic field B. See, as shown in the figure, as shown means, see, the coil is just put in the magnetic field is like this. The coil is put like this. So you have the area vector perpendicular like this. So this is the angle theta. This is it. What's the figure it's referring to. Then it is saying find the initial angular acceleration. For anything you require torque, right? Even if it's saying find initial angular acceleration, you require torque. So first part, why? Because moment of inertia is already given. So look, what will be the torque? In the first, see, values are not given. The modifications can be that the questions can give you values. Torque is mb sine theta, right? This is torque is mb sine theta. And your torque is also equal to I alpha, angular acceleration into moment of inertia. So you equate mb sine theta is equal to I alpha. From here, angular acceleration is mb sine theta divided by I. That's your first part. Second part says, find angular speed when it passes through equilibrium. You have to find the angular speed. See, for the angular speed, again, you require the energies, because speed always relates to your kinetic energy. So this has connected 12th class portion. from your 11th kinematics, rotational motion. So see, initial kinetic energy plus initial potential energy is final kinetic energy plus final potential energy. That is what is the statement, right? Initially, the body is at zero, rest. So you will only have the potential energy, mb cos theta, right? But finally, what has happened? The body is moving. So it will have half, see what's the kinetic energy in rotation? Half mv square will become half I omega square. So this will become half I omega square. Okay. And see, your theta will be there minus mb cos theta, whatever it is given. You can further find out the value of omega from here. Then the third part says, find the time period of motion if theta is small. See, time period if theta is small, your torque will always be equal to mb. See, your torque is equal to mb sine theta. This is the formula. Remember, if you have a small angle, small angle means theta is less than or equal to 15 degrees, this much small. Then you can do two things. You can write tan theta almost equal to theta, and you can also write sine theta almost equal to theta. You can write sine theta almost equal to theta. So here I can say torque is mv theta. Means this is satisfying the equation torque is equal to k theta. This is the equation of SHM, your waves and oscillations chapter, SHM. So it means this is the constant part. So time period will be 2 pi under root, it is I by k. So time period will become 2 pi under root I by, what is constant here? It is mb. Last part. Find external work required to slowly rotate the coil from stable to unstable position. It has not mentioned anything. It is just saying stable to unstable position. So see, whenever you are calculating the external work done, you have to find out the change in potential energy. This change in potential energy will give you the same thing. Change in potential energy, whatever is the work done gets stored in the form of potential energy. So your final 2 minus initial. Now, we have studied when the unstable is there, means it's the maximum value. I told you it is positive, that's why it is unstable. So mb minus, what is u? U1. U1 is when it is stable. Stable is negative. So minus mb. So it will become 2 mb. Got this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Write it. We'll see one or two more questions.
Done, ma'am.
Both of you? Meera?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Done.
Okay. This is a question from your 2023's paper, 30th Jan. So this says magnetic moments associated with two closely wound circular coils A and B, which have the radius as 10 centimeters and 20 centimeters. So RA is 10 centimeters and RB is 20 centimeters. So NAIA, NB, IB, these are the number of turns and the current. We have to find out their ratio. See, the magnetic moments, it is saying they are equal, means magnetic moment of the coils are equal, right? So you can say M1 is equal to M2 first. Now what is the magnetic moments formula? Now tell at least. Now what is the formula of magnetic moment?
NIA,
What's the formula? Yes. So
N
this
is
will
equal to
be NA, IA and area. For area, we can write pi RA square. Circular coils are present. Similarly, here NB, IB, pi RB whole square. Just a minute. Okay. So see here, pi will be cancelled. And current and NB we don't have to change. Yeah, radius we can put. One is 10 centimeter, another is 20 centimeters. So see, this is NAIA. This is 10 square. NBIB 20 square, that is 400. 0 gets cancelled. So 4 NBIB is equal to NAIA. Is there any option matching? Yeah. Third one. This is the answer. Okay. Please write down this, then we'll start chapter 5th.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Okay, and now see, in magnetism, you have few concepts from your 5th chapter, that is magnetism and matter. So let's discuss this. So see, this is similar to your electrostatics, where you just have to shift some analogs of things. Like where you were studying electric dipole moment, now you'll study magnetic moment. The constant that you were getting was 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, which you were using, 9 into 10 to the power 9. This will be mu naught by 4 pi. So this we have already used, we have been using in this chapter. An electric field, instead of electric field, we'll use the magnetic. So see here, the bar magnet is present. This is the north pole, this is the south pole. So for the pole strength, the way you have charges, you have positive charges, you have negative charges. We take the strength of this pole, which is represented by small m. So it's like the magnetic charge. Okay, you can say this is like the magnetic charge. Length of this magnet, the magnetic axis. See, you have two things. Magnetic equator is there and magnetic axis is there. When we talk about the magnetic axis, see, this is the magnetic axis. The axis, an imaginary line which is joining the north pole to the south pole. And the distance between the north pole and the south pole of this bar magnet is the length of the magnet. Magnetic equator is, if I take a point here and I drop a perpendicular here. So see, I'm writing this one is the magnetic axis. This is the magnetic equator. Okay. So these are the strengths of the magnet. So the way you were telling me, you answered that the electric dipole moment. This is given by the charge multiplied to the separation. Here also you take the charge. That is the magnetic charge. Basically, magnetic charge means the strength of the magnets. Remember, monopoles do not exist. You do not have one portion of north and one portion of south existing. Yeah, I have written it also here. So what's the direction? Direction is from south to north, this of the magnetic moment. What's the direction for the electric dipole? Electric dipole moment.
Negative to positive.
Yes, very good, Meera. Negative to positive. So direction of the magnetic moment is from south to north. Then see, you have how are the magnetic field lines aligned around the magnet. This is how magnetic field lines are going. See, you must have studied that electric fields do not form closed loops. Because if they form closed loops, if they form closed loops, when you are talking about the electric field, they'll be intersecting, right? And two directions will also be given. And electric fields do not form closed loops. You have the magnetic fields which form closed loops. Because if the charge, if the electric field is initiated from a positive charge and it is terminated towards the negative charge, it's over. From the negative charge, this cannot begin because this is not the direction of the electric field. It is always away for the positive charge and towards for the negative charge. But in case of magnets, this is not an issue. In magnets, what happens? From north to south, if it is going outwards, then from south to north, this will come inwards like this. So they are forming what? Inside the magnet also, they are forming closed loops. So this is the difference, and this makes other things also different. Okay. And magnetic monopoles do not exist means that if I have this bar magnet and I just break this. So technically what should happen if I have a bar magnet? North pole is there, south pole is there. And I have broken this magnet. So I will have north polarity here and I will have south polarity here. That's it. This should end. But problem is that what happens here is if this is north, then whatever part is left, let's say this is the whole magnet, automatically this will develop south, this will develop north. Even if you have cut it, you've broken it, you have the individual magnets with you, one north, one south, automatically the opposite polarities will develop at the edge. Got it? So magnetic monopoles do not exist. You have electric monopole. Electron, completely negatively charged element. Protons, completely positively charged element. So these are monopoles, right? Monopoles mean single polarity. Then you have monopole moment also. You calculate the net charge. That is the monopole moment, right? Similar, then you have dipoles, set of positive and negative charges with a separation, equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. That's the dipole. You calculate charge with the separation, that gives the dipole moment. So you have all the things listed in case of the electrostatics and electric dipoles. But when we talk about magnetism, monopoles, monopole moment, nothing exists over here. So directly you have the dipole. That's it. Straight away, north and south will be existing together. And one more property is that if you take the bar magnet, and if the bar magnet is just suspended, it's a freely bar magnet that is suspended like this. Let's say this is straight, this is the edge, and I have just taken the bar magnet like this. I have tied it to the rope like this, and this is the north pole, this is the south pole, and I have the bar magnet present, and this is completely tied up. Okay, I've left this. So what will happen after some time? You will see that the bar magnet has aligned itself automatically from north to south. So this is also one of the properties of bar magnet. So what you can do to remember the concepts of bar magnet, remember it with electrostatics. See, electrostatics is going right now only. Okay, electrostatics you studied also dipole. For equatorial line also sir has told you. The electric field for the axial line also sir has told. So for all these things, what you can do, just replace the terms. You have studied electrostatics, just replace the terms. Like in electrostatics, you use 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. So use mu naught by 4 pi whenever you have to use. Dipole moment is P, which is equal to Q into 2A. For magnetic moment, use M into L. L is again same as 2A. I hope you know 2A doesn't mean that you have to double the length. 2A means the separation between the charges. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Now, axial field for a short dipole. Short dipole means this is short dipole means that this is the separation between the both the charges is very small, whereas the point is very less. So your A becomes very much lesser than dipole separation R. Means when you have the dipole, whether it's the bar magnet or it's the charges like this, if this A is very small and the point of calculation, let's say R is here, this is very huge, that is what is referred to as short dipole. Means your R is very much greater than A. Now, what you can do, axial field for a short dipole, this is basically 2 kp by r cube. Here it will become 2 km by r cube. K means this and K means this here. Again, for equatorial, we use minus kp by r cube for a short dipole. For equatorial, this will become minus km by r cube. Now, torque in external field, this is P cross E, which is PE sine theta. Here, as we have discussed, this is M cross B, and this is also written as NAIB sine theta because of the formula of magnetic moment. Potential energy in external field, this is minus P dot E. Similarly, this will be minus M dot B. Before we move on to the forces and the rest of the things, tell me, is this whole portion clear to all of you? To both of you? Till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. Now see, these are some things from your JE perspective. These formula you should remember. When you have to calculate the force between bar magnets, it's better you directly remember these formula as it is. It will come in the option. Just take it. That's all. See, what is this? First understand, then you can copy it. Force between bar magnets means if you have 2 bar magnets present and they are aligned together, making 0-degree angle between them. This angle between them is 0 degree. This is the separation between both the bar magnets. This is the first bar magnet. This is the second bar magnet. So when you are calculating the separation, when you have both of these bar magnets and you are calculating the force between them. So M1 is the magnetic moment of the first bar magnet. M2 is the magnetic moment of the second bar magnet. Now, when you have the separation between both of these as R, first bar magnet, second bar magnet as R. So the formula that you should use is 6 mu naught by 4 pi M1, M2 by R to the power 4. See, even if it comes in the exam, usually this will give you a value, like M1 will be mentioned, M2 will be mentioned, and then you have to put it here only. So multiply it with 6 and put it in the formula. Or what else modifications can be given? It can give you the values of bar magnet in a manner that first you need to find out M1 and then you need to put it into this formula. So nothing will come if you remember this formula difficult. Means nothing difficult will come if you remember this formula. Second is if they are aligned with the angle 90 degree between them. So this becomes 3 mu naught by 4 pi m1 into m2 divided by r to the power 4. So in your JEE exams, these questions have directly come. You can directly remember the options. What else modifications can come that I have told you? Magnetic moments calculation it can give you. Then you have to relate it to the formula back. Then, okay, you write it till here. Write down just this part because see, I'll share this PDF with you. Today only I will share because magnetism is over. So I'll share it today only.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now see class, one thing is there that you need to remember by yourself. The differences between the properties of diamagnetic, paramagnetic, and ferromagnetic substances. So this has to be remembered by you because it is completely theoretical and questions have come from this. In your JEE mains, direct questions have come from the properties part also. So these properties I'm just discussing once. You can remember it and learn it later on because this doesn't need much help. What is important that I'll tell you. What all things have come from your previous year's paper that I'll tell you. This effect of temperature is important. Relative permeability. This has come. Susceptibility and this permeability. These are very important that have directly come. Apart from it, see the first 4 points are also fine. This at least basic you need to remember. When it says feebly, feebly means weakly. They are weakly repelled by magnets. They are weakly attracted by magnets. They are strongly attracted by magnets. That's how the differences are there. Acquire weak magnetization. Acquire weak magnetization. This is in the opposite direction. This is in the direction of magnetizing field. And this is strong magnetization in the direction of magnetic field like this. So this is what you can remember. The first 4 points are fine. These 4 points are very important. They have come in the paper. Not difficult. They have just come with the options, direct options, where you have to choose for every substance. One more thing, this variation of M and H also. This also. This is there. Then examples, no need to remember. Physical state, no need to remember. Hysteresis also you can avoid. These things which I have ticked, at least remember those. So I hope you will learn it by yourself, or do I need to make you memorize? This will be done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's solve 1 or 2 questions from this also. Then I'll start with EMI. So see, in the next class, we'll be covering AC and EM waves together. Today, magnetics and EMI will be done. In the next class, tomorrow we have the class, we'll be covering AC and EM waves together. Then this week we'll do optics. Write down the question, try it at least once by yourself. It's a very easy question. And see, it's a question that has come in your JEE exam only. So revise the notes. Do you revise the notes that I gave you for current electricity?
Yes, ma'am.
If you
Yes,
have any
ma'am.
doubts from it, please let me know.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, this says that a small bar magnet placed with its axis at 30 degree with an external field. This experiences a magnetic field of 0.0 Tesla. Torque is also given. Let's see what all things we have. Theta is given as 30 degree. Magnetic field is given as 0.06. And this is the torque is given as 0.018 Newton meter. Bar magnet is placed with its axis in the external, means between the bar magnet and the magnetic field, this is the angle, that is 30 degrees. So theta is 30 degree, fine. You have to find out the minimum work. When I say minimum work, what do we actually have to calculate? I told you today's class. Work done gets converted into which form of energy?
Kinetic energy.
Which energy, Upasna?
Kinetic energy.
No,
Potential energy.
potential.
Potential.
Yes. See, you have both the theorems. Actually, you have both the theorems. Work energy theorem. When we say work energy theorem, there are two theorems. Work kinetic energy theorem, work potential energy theorem. So in work kinetic energy theorem, we say work done gets converted into kinetic energy. But here nothing is moving. When you don't have movement, when you have interaction, conservative interaction in your system, means forces are acting, then it means the energy which is present is the potential energy. So we will use the work potential energy theorem, means work done will be converted into potential energy. Is that clear, Upasna?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this is saying required to rotate it from stable to unstable equilibrium. This is very clear, very easy. We did the last part of the question in the magnetics one. Stable means you have negative, right? Unstable means this is positive. So anyways, work done will be double of MB, right? Minus MB will be minus 2 MB. You take the magnitude, it is 2 MB. MB minus MB. Unstable is what? Unstable is positive potential energy. Stable is negative potential energy. Whenever you will subtract, the work done external will become 2 MB. For the steps and detailing, check the last part of the first question which we have done from the magnetics. Right, that question will give the answer to this. That's why I was saying the three figures that I have drawn. Remember their conclusions. See how the questions are made difficult. In JEE, the questions are lengthy. In NEET, you will find, I think you guys have to appear for the NEET also, no? Because we have bio.
Yes, ma'am.
So in NEET, basically the questions are short. The steps will be less. In JEE, you just have the paper very lengthy. So what it will give you, instead of giving you the direct data, it will mention the steps like this. Stable, unstable. So it's better you remember few things for the JEE exam so that these things you're not wasting your time on. Now it's very simple. What is the, we have to calculate the work done. Simply use MB sine theta, right? We can say MB sine theta. Your torque is equal to MB sine theta. We need to calculate work done. But if I tell you, somehow I get the value of MB, I will get the value of work done. I'll just double it. Right? If I have the value of M into B, my work done will be calculated and my answer will be done. For MB, it has given you this much data. Calculate MB, calculate value of M from here. B you already have. Calculate the value of magnetic moment. I will tell you, it's better you don't use B also. You will get your answer in lesser steps. Just calculate MB from here. Put it as it is. 2 into torque divided by sine theta. That is what you have to use. For shorter steps, from here we can say torque divided by theta is mb. So 2 into torque divided by sine theta. That is your answer. What is it? See, this is 0.2 into torque is 0.018 divided by, this is sine 30 degree. Sine 30 degree is half. 4 into 0.018, this is 72. So 7.2 into 10 to the power minus 2 joules. B option. Did you understand? Should I repeat anything?
No, ma'am. Understood.
Write it. One more question from this topic. Class done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See, this question says a bar magnet having a magnetic moment of 2 into 10 to the power 5 joules per Tesla is placed along the direction of uniform magnetic field. B is 14 into 10 to the power minus 5 Tesla. Work done in rotating the magnet slowly through 60 degree from the direction of field is. See, again, we have to use the work done, means potential energy. It is saying work done in rotating the magnet slowly from 60 degree to direction of field. See, one angle is given. It's like bar magnet is present like this. Let's say these are the magnetic field lines. The bar magnet is present like this right now. This angle is 60 degree. This is clear. Now you all tell me what's the second angle that's given in this statement. What do we actually have to calculate? From the direction of field. Work done in rotating the magnet slowly through 60 degree from the direction of field. What's the direction? See, this is the magnetic field.
Zero theta One of the angle is 0.
One of the angles is 0. See, this is saying bar magnets, different values are given. It is saying work done. That's it. Whatever is there in the last statement is your answer. Work done in rotating the magnet slowly through 60 degree from the direction of field. That is, see, when you have the value here, she is right, Upasana is right. Direction of field means your bar magnet is placed like this. This is brought to this position. So earlier it is 0 degree. So see, the answer is very simple. When you are calculating the work done, this second one, final angle is C minus MB cos 60 degree minus, what's the initial value? Cos 0 degree, that is 1. What's the formula? Meera, you tell me, what's the formula of potential energy?
MB cos
Meera, how much?
minus MB cos theta.
Yes, minus MB cos theta, that is M dot B, which is minus MB cos theta. So if I put, this means that this is 0 degree. So if I put 0 degree here, what will I get? Meera?
MB minus MB.
Minus MB, right? So it means this is minus MB. This is what you need to solve. You can put the values, check the answer. Will you be able to do? Tell me,
Yes,
solve it,
ma'am.
tell me
Yes.
what's coming. Yes, Meera, you saying something?
No, ma'am, I said we'll solve.
Okay, just write down this.
Yeah. Output.
Yes, Meera, right. The answer is 14 joules to the previous question. Correct. Option 1 is right. Write down this question. This will be the last part from this chapter. See, class, this says this is a question from 2019's paper. Two magnetic dipoles X and Y are placed at a separation D with their axis perpendicular to each other. So one is at the axial point, another one is at the equatorial point, right? So this says the dipole moment of Y is twice as that of X. That could be calculated also, and that is right. A particle of charge Q is passing through their midpoint P. So here we have a charge present Q. This angle is 45 degrees. Like this is going. What will be the magnitude of force on this particle at that instant? So this is a good question. You have the magnetic moment present. This is M. Here the magnetic moment is 2M. See, if I say what's the magnetic field for the first one, see one thing. You tell me, you have discussed it in your electrostatics classes with sir. What's the direction of the axial electric field? Axial dipole moment. When you have
Along the electric field.
yes, the direction of electric field and direction of dipole, they are in the same direction. And for equatorial?
Opposite.
Opposite. So same thing will be here also. See, this is axial, so this will be the direction of magnetic field B1. This is equatorial, south to north, so we will have like this. So this is your B1, this is your B2. So one thing is clear, B net will be under root B1 square plus B2 square. Well, how can you calculate B1 and B2? You can calculate, see, this will be, this is axial, B1 is axial, and this is equatorial. So you can simply use mu naught by 4 pi is M by, what's the separation? D. So this will be D by 2 because it is at their midpoint. So this will be D by 2 whole cube. Similarly, for B2, it will be double. So mu naught by 4 pi 2M by D by 2 whole cube. Like this, you can calculate. Now, main thing that you remember, you have to see, if you solve everything, you will be stuck at a point. See, you will get the net magnetic field and everything. Just see here, it is saying if this is moving like this, class, you need not solve anything. It's just a question of 10 seconds. Literally, it is a question of 10 seconds. See here. If I have, you just have to focus on magnetic field and the force. That's it. See, this is of no use to you. In this case, if the angle was different, it would have been something else. How you have to calculate in both the cases, I'm telling you, because see, you don't know. If a question has come like this, the different modification could be asked in this here. Right now, let's see in this question. If I have this B1, this B2, yes, vectors is completed. Where will be the direction of magnetic field? Direction of this, where will it be? Meera?
Co-initial.
Yes. Yes, Upasna, you were answering?
From the co-initial point.
From their co-initial point means along the diagonal. Right, this is what the resultant will be. That is B net. So if this is 90 degree means this angle is 45 degree. And where is the charge passing? Charge is also passing like this only. Right? Charge is also passing at 45 degrees only. It has given. Now, if magnetic field is like this, the velocity of the charge is like this. What will be the answer? QVB sine theta. What is theta?
0.
0. Yes. So sine 0. Answer is simply 0. The force is 0. The right option is the second one. Now, if it was different, then how would you have solved it? If it was different, nothing. You know, angle would be given to you. Multiply QV into the resultant of whatever you're getting. Right now, it was not needed because your sine theta helped you. Otherwise, you would have used this, calculated their resultant, put it here, and some answers like the rest of the options you will get. Something like this or like this. Right now, they are parallel, so 0. Is this question clear?
Yes.
Just write this quickly and let's start with electromagnetic induction. Or after writing this, just take 2 to 3 minutes, go through the notes of magnetism. If you have to ask anything after 5 minutes, I'm giving you a time of 5 minutes. Okay. Or even less than that, I think is enough. Just take 2 to 3 minutes, turn the pages, see. If you want to ask anything from magnetism, ask me. Then I'll start with electromagnetic induction. Class, anything you want to ask? Is everything clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's start then with EMI. Okay, what is electromagnetic induction? I'll share the notes also today. So when magnetic flux through conducting coil changes with time, and EMF is induced in the coil, this is called as electromagnetic induction. Basically, whenever the magnetic flux changes. So let us see what is the magnetic flux first. See, the number of magnetic field lines that are passing perpendicularly to the area is called as magnetic flux. So and you have to consider whichever line is passing perpendicular to. So this is similar to your electric flux. And in the next class, I think your Gauss theorem, Gauss law, electric flux will also be discussed. So this is similar to that. Now, formula of magnetic flux is phi is equal to B dot A, that is BA cos theta. SI unit is Tesla meter square or Webers. Okay, what is this theta? Now, this theta is important. This is the angle between area vector and magnetic field. Area vector and magnetic field. Like if I give you this question, you have to first drop the area vector like this. And then this angle which is formed between them, this will be considered theta. Remember, you will get this angle also from the plane. You don't have to consider this angle. If this angle is given, then subtract 90 minus x and get your value of theta. Do you understand this part? Which angle you have to consider?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is Tesla meter square or Weber. Now, if n number of turns are there, multiply it with n, NBA cos theta. Now, again, you have different cases. So 3 cases, again, it's better for you to remember. When area vector and magnetic field, they are directly aligned together, means here theta is 0 degree. So you get the maximum flux. Why? Because cos 0 degree is 1, you will simply get B into A, which is the maximum flux. If it is perpendicular, theta is 90 degree, cos 90 is 0. So flux becomes 0, zero flux. I've written it also. Third case, when it is at a random angle, then you calculate the area vector first, even whichever angle is given, this is the general formula. So maximum flux, zero flux, you need to remember. One more you can do if it is anti-parallel. See, if it is anti-parallel, like if this is the area vector, theta will be 180 degree. Cos 180 is -1. Okay. Then you can put the rest of the values. Now, if the surface is variable, this is a uniform area, right? If the area is variable, random surface I am giving you, or a circular surface, just take a smaller portion of dA and then integrate it. Integral of B dot A. That is integral of B dA cos theta. Is it clear? Magnetic flux?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the definition of electromagnetic induction? It says, see, whenever the magnetic flux changes, whether it increases or it decreases, whatever is the change in magnetic flux, this leads to production of EMF. Since this EMF was not produced, but because of the change in the magnetic field, change in the magnetic flux, it is being created in a sense, it is being induced that time. That's why we say this is induced EMF. And you not only get induced EMF, you get induced current also because of your Ohm's law, right? So how will the flux change? Flux will change by the magnetic field. Magnetic field increases or decreases, the flux increases or decreases, you get an induced EMF. This is helpful in your self-induction and mutual induction also, that we'll see. Now, this is a portion that can come in your statement based, and that this has come in the previous years. If you see, what is Gauss law in magnetism? So Gauss law for electrostatics is E dot dA is equal to Q by epsilon naught. But B dot dA whenever the net magnetic flux is calculated through a closed surface. See, because of closed surface, we have this figure. This represents closed loop. It is 0. So line integral of magnetic field over a closed surface area is 0. That is what is your magnetic Gauss law for magnetism. Once there was a question that Gauss law for magnetism is this the reason. So reason is because the magnetic field lines form closed loops. That's why, since they are forming the closed loops, there isn't any magnetic field which you are calculating. Hence, despite having the area, the magnetic flux becomes 0. So this is the point that is important for you to remember, is amongst the properties of magnetic fields. Okay, so in short, remember the magnetic flux is 0 over a closed surface. This is important. If it is not closed, this is not valid. This is only valid for the closed surfaces. Am I clear till here?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now Faraday's laws of EMI. Faraday gave 2 laws. First law says that the definition of EMI. It basically tells whenever magnetic field changes, magnetic flux gets induced. The magnetic flux changes, and this magnetic flux induces EMF. So it just tells you that when will EMF be induced. It just tells you when you will have the induced EMF. So when will you have it? Whenever the magnetic field or the magnetic flux change, then you will get the induced EMF. Second law tells you how to calculate this induced EMF. If yes, magnetic field is changing, EMF is being induced, then how do you calculate the value of this EMF? This says that this EMF that we calculate, the value of this EMF that we calculate, see, this tells about the induced EMF. So when once you have the induced EMF, this tells about the value. So this says that induced EMF is directly proportional to rate of change of flux. Rate of change of magnetic flux means magnetic flux which is changing over time. So it is directly proportional to this. And why do we have this negative sign? This negative sign we will see in Lenz law. This is given by Lenz law. This we will see later. So these are the 2 laws. Now few formula you should remember. Average EMF will be change in flux by change in time. Average current will be change in flux by change in time divided by resistance, because it is voltage by resistance. So this is your voltage EMF by resistance. If you get a question based on charge and then it is relating, then you know charge is current into time. So current, use this, okay, put these values for current and then integrate it. Am I clear till here? Faraday's laws of EMI?
Yes.
Upasna?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay, now coming to Lenz law. Lenz law is very important. You have plenty of questions in your JEE exam from this Lenz law. So this says that EMI occurs in such a manner that it opposes the cause by which it is generated. Basically, Lenz law says that it is opposing. What is opposing? EMI, the direction of induced current. The direction of this induced current is in a manner, is in such a way, or you can say the induced EMF also is in a manner that is opposing the cause by which it is produced. Now, in the definition of Faraday's laws, or in the definition of EMI, what did we see? We saw that when the magnetic fields were changing, when the magnetic flux was changing, we got induced EMF, right? We saw that whenever the flux changed, increased or decreased, this led to the induction of EMF or current. Now what it is saying, the direction of these are in a manner that it opposes the cause that is producing it. What was the cause that was producing the change in magnetic flux? So whatever it takes for the direction to change the magnetic flux, it will be aligned in that manner. Just a minute. Okay, so let's see the question. So this is a circular coil. A bar magnet is approaching it with the north polarity. Now see, what is the cause? Cause is the approaching north pole, right? This is the cause. So now the direction of the induced current will be, its aim is to see, repel the north pole. If north pole is coming, it will repel the north pole. Now, or remember, yeah, it will repel the north pole basically. Let me write this. Repel the north. Now, when the north pole is coming towards it, why will it repel it? Because when it is coming, it is increasing the number of magnetic fields, right? As soon as the magnet is coming near to a coil, see, if there is, let's say, if there is a coil, this is the coil, and this is the bar magnet. If it is coming near it, this is producing, it is having the magnetic field lines. So it is increasing the number of field lines through this coil. So magnetic field line is increasing. Now induced current will oppose it. This has produced the induced current. Now induced current wants to decrease it. So it will, induce current will try to decrease the magnetic field. To decrease the magnetic field, it will try to move the bar magnet away. If the bar magnet goes, the whole problem will be solved. So how can you repel the north polarity? Which polarity should be here?
North.
North.
North, exactly. So north polarity, put arrows like this. It means this is the direction. So the direction of the coil, this is anti-clockwise. So direction of induced current will be anti-clockwise. Remember one thing, for the direction of the coil, do one thing. If you are getting north polarity, write north like this. Put the arrows like this. See, make these arrows. You will get the north polarity direction. If it is south, make the arrows like this. So you need not remember it. This is how you can get. Now, second part, north polarity is going away. Now the magnetic field is increasing. Induced current is decreasing. Sorry, this time the magnetic field is decreasing because it is going away. Now induced current will want to increase it. So it will try that bar magnet should come nearer. So it will develop south polarity and direction will be clockwise. Direction of induced current will be clockwise like this. Now you answer for this. If south polarity is approaching the coil, what should be the direction of induced current?
Clockwise.
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 Magnetic field is increasing, right? It is coming. So magnetic field has to decrease. So south polarity will be developed. Yes, clockwise, correct. So direction is again clockwise. Now in the chat column, both of you answer the fourth part. In the chat column answer, don't unmute yourself for this part. Yes, Meera, correct. Anti-clockwise, right? Now what is happening? Magnetic field is decreasing. You want to increase the magnetic field. You want the coil to come near. So you will develop north polarity. This is anti-clockwise. Notes you can then take later. I think nothing is here so that you can write right now. These things are there in your notes for the questions part. At least this much you remember. Now the question. Please write this question first. Let me discuss it, then you can write everything all together. This says a coil is placed in a magnetic field B as shown below. This is the coil, this is the direction of induced current. A current is induced in the coil because magnetic field is outward and decreasing with time, parallel to the plane of coil. See, this is saying a magnetic, this is a coil which is present. Here the magnetic field is present as it is. Direction of induced current is clockwise. Look, sorry, anti-clockwise. Direction of induced current, this is anti-clockwise. So a current is induced because it means magnetic field, it will always change the magnetic. If current is induced, means the magnetic field must have increased initially, then the current was induced, right? So see, when the not increased initially, current was induced, right? But this is saying how do we write the direction of magnetic field? Direction will be set up in a manner to decrease the magnetic field. So magnetic field has to decrease. So see, parallel, it cannot be there. Why? Because theta will be 0. There won't be any point of writing, right? Parallel to the plane of coil, parallel to the plane of coil and increasing with time. This is not possible. It cannot be parallel to the coil, right? If magnetic field and the coil, they are parallel, the area vector will be, actually the angle will be 90 degree. This is the plane of coil. Area vector will be perpendicular, theta will be 90 degree. So parallel options are not possible. Outward and decreasing with time, outward and increasing with time. It cannot increase. If it will not let it increase, it will always let it decrease. So option 1, decreasing with time, this is the right one, which is incorrect. Now write it. Class, just tell me done.
Done.
Meera? Now this is a good
Yes,
question.
I'm done.
In 2020, it says that a small bar magnet is moved through the coil at constant speed from one end to another end. Now it is saying which of the following series of observations will be seen on the galvanometer. When the galvanometer is at rest, look, this is how it is looking. Any movement means deflection. Now see, when this is the coil, right? This is the coil. When the north pole is here, this is the bar magnet, it must be like this. So it is taken from this end to this end. So this is the first case. When it is here, all the coil, it will, when this is coming towards it, this will develop which polarity? South polarity. Same case which we have seen, north pole approaching to the coil. Here just the number of turns are increased. In the previous case, we just saw single turn. So this also developed north polarity. Remember it to repel it. We have done this. In the third case, Mid one we'll talk later. In the third case, when the bar magnet is coming out, it is going out. The bar magnet is going away from it. So this will develop again, not polarity to attract it. So both of them will have the polarities, right, developed. It means it will show equal and opposite deflection. Equal deflection will be shown in both of them, first and the third. Then it says B part is the second case is when the bar magnet is present in the middle. Now see, this side will try to develop the south polarity. This side will try to develop the north polarity. So what will happen? Resultant is that the galvanometer will not show any deflection in the midpoint. So let's see the options. This is here, this is right. This means deflection, this is incorrect. And this is in this first option is incorrect. See second option, this has shown deflection, no deflection for this, again slight deflection for this. This is right. No deflection for the first one, incorrect. No deflection for the first one, incorrect. Option B is right. Did you understand this question? This is completely based on Lenz's law. Got this? Should I repeat?
Yes, ma'am.
Write it. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see the next question. See, this says that a conducting loop of radius 10 by pi centimeter is placed perpendicular to uniform magnetic field of 0.5 Tesla. What do we have till now? You have the circular coil. Its radius is 10 by pi centimeters. Magnetic field is given as 0.5 Tesla. These are the two things that we have, radius and magnetic field. Then it says magnetic field is decreased to 0 in 0.5 seconds at a steady rate. Magnetic field means you have two magnetic fields. One is 0.5, second one is 0. Then it is saying the induced EMF in circular loop at 0.25 seconds is. See, first of all, initial magnetic flux we can calculate. How do we calculate the magnetic flux? BA, area into the magnetic field. So area will be pi r square. So pi, radius is 10 by pi. So this will be 10 100 by pi square, right? Pi r square. Or and we have to multiply it with 10 to the power minus 4 also. It is in centimeters, so this is in meters, right? So pi r square. And the magnetic field. What's the magnetic field given? 0.5 Tesla. So this is into 0.5, right? So 1 pi will get cancelled. Yeah, pi r square is it? No, so 10 by pi whole square, yes. So see, whatever value you will get, I think pi should get cancelled completely. Pi r square it's given. Square of radius will square this. So you will have pi, you have to solve this question and check. See, second flux will be, the final flux will be 0 because your magnetic field is 0. Initial flux will be this, final flux will be 0 because your magnetic field is 0. What will be EMF? Change in flux by change in time. This is what you need to calculate. So whatever initial flux is it, that will be put here. Time is already given to you. Okay, so just solve this question and check which option is right, because this will take a lot of time in calculation here. So it's a question from your 2023 paper only. Write it, tell me what's the answer coming. Okay, one thing, class, wait. This will be pi only. That's what I was saying. The calculations look very easy, so this shouldn't be. The question has root pi in it. 10 by root pi is the question. So square will be just pi. Let me solve it only. Pi will be cancelled. So this becomes 5 into 10 to the power minus 3. Yes, now you can calculate. So EMF, this will be 5 into 10 to the power minus 3 only, the flux that you need to put. And the time is 0.5. So 0.5. So this will be 50 means 10. 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 means 10 millivolt. Second. Because the data looked like it was an easy calculation. The question has root pi in it. By mistake, I didn't write. So when you square the radius, you will get this. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Please write this. And just let me know once done. A theoretical portion I have to discuss with you.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Okay. Now, see, when we are talking about the motional EMF means when your conducting wire, when your rod is moving. So motional EMF is very easy from the board's perspective. But few formula and few tricks I'll tell you for motional EMF in your JE paper that have come and that can come. So formula is very easy, BLV. Direction is given by right hand thumb rule. What do we do? Direction of EMF, not the direction of force this time. We have studied a similar thing when the charge was moving in the magnetic field. What did we do? We calculated the direction of force. Remember, we got the circular motion complete. Right now, we have to find out the direction of EMF. EMF direction will also give. Means, see, take your same formula. You take your hand, right hand in the direction of the velocity. So I am putting my palm in the direction of velocity. So velocity is like this. This is going towards the right. Now magnetic field is inwards. So I'm curling my finger inwards. Thumb is pointing upwards, means upwards is the positive terminal and negative terminal. So it will be something like this. This is the direction of E. Got this?
Yes.
Okay. Now these cases are important, which I was mentioning. If velocity is given to you at any angle, resolution of vectors, you know, resolve the vectors. When resolution of vectors is present, just resolve the vectors. Now what you do, you will get two components. One will be v cos theta, second will be perpendicular, will be v sin theta. Use v cos theta. You don't have to do anything with v sin theta. Okay, use v cos theta, that's it. V cos theta into BL. Second, if instead of giving you the magnetic field directly, it is giving you everything in Cartesian form, B1 I cap plus B2 J cap plus B3 K cap. Like a magnetic field is given 3 I cap plus 4 J cap minus K cap, like this. Magnetic field is given in Cartesian form. You are going to still use V cos theta, but out of all the magnetic fields, use the third one, K caps coefficient, B3. If it's 0, answer is 0. If it's given, just put it as it is, into the length. Now, why and how the derivations and everything, we don't have time for it, and you don't need it. That's enough, so just remember the formula. Now, next thing here, in motional EMF only. This I told you earlier also, in other portion which we discussed in magnetism, we discussed. So here also, when we were discussing BIL, that time also I told you, if you have a random shape, use the L equivalent. Like you calculate displacement in your kinematics. Here also, if a random figure is given to you, use L equivalent. So formula will be B into L equivalent into velocity. Third, if a rotating rod is given to you. Two things I have written simultaneously. The formula of the rotating rod is half B omega L square. Okay. Now, there was a question where two random points, see, this is the axis. Around it, it is rotating. Total length is L. So half B omega L square. If 2 points are given to you, like this A point is given and B point, and it is saying calculate the EMF only in this part of the rotating rod. Don't do anything else. See, find out this length. This length. So this length will be given by L2 minus L1. Just put it in this. Half B omega L2 square minus L1 square. Before going on to the questions, are these portions clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this, I think, PDF, when you will receive, you can see. Let's go to the questions. This says a wire of length 1 meter, moving with a velocity of 8 meter per second. L is 1 meter. Velocity is directly, it's a very easy question. Even while reading, you can just answer it. B is 2, V is 8, L is 1, 8 into 2, 16 volt is the answer. How? Velocity is 8 meter per second. Magnetic field is 2 Tesla. EMF is BLV, that is 2 into 8 into 1. This is 16 volts. Got it? Please write this, and it's a question from your J mains only, last to last year, 2023. Write it, then one more question we'll see.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Okay, this says magnetic field. See, this is given in a region by B is equal to B naught X by A. So this is how your square coil is given. Square loop, yeah. Of side D, D is the separation, is placed with its edges like this. Okay, figure is already given. Loop is moved with a constant velocity V naught I cap. V naught I cap means what is the axis for velocity?
X-axis.
So velocity is like this. Induced EMF in the loop is, see, since this loop is moving with a velocity, as soon as you see that the coil starts moving, it is your motional EMF. BLV is the formula. Now, when we say BLV, okay, I already told you, you have to include the cos theta component. Now, when you have the loop as it is present, what's the value of magnetic field? B naught X by A. X means the side of the coil, K cap. So when I say K cap, where is the magnetic field associated?
Z axis.
Z axis, right? The magnetic field is along the Z axis. Now, one thing, when magnetic field is inwards, as soon as the magnetic field becomes along the Z axis, it is given also in the figure. Look, it's given in the figure also. So what's this symbol, inwards or outwards? It's outwards, right? It's a circle. So your magnetic field is coming outwards. Now, if for the induced EMF, see, here at the origin, this is your origin, this is your x-axis. So you have the value of x as 0 over here, right? X is 0. So here you have no magnetic field also present, right? Because this is exactly making it 0 at the origin. This is just your y-axis, right? Because at this point, your x is 0, simply your EMF will be 0 for this side. So we won't get anything. But when it comes to this side, see, here the separation will be d of x-axis for this side. See, this separate, if the square loop is given, this side will also be d, right? If this is d, what will be the EMF? Velocity, right, into BLV, length. Length is d, B magnetic field. See, what will be the magnetic field? Magnetic field will be B naught d by A. So multiply, this will be B naught d by A. So your EMF will be B naught V d square divided by A, right? So B naught B naught V naught. Okay, this is V naught d square by option C. Write it, please. Just tell me, done class, one more question we have to complete. Did you understand this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Because that x was 0, because this is origin, so you have to take the graph. That's why only this d was considered.
Done, ma'am.
Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is also a good question. This one. It's very easy to solve, very easy. But it's just that you have to understand the figure. This is saying a constant magnetic field of 1 Tesla is applied in a region x greater than 0. Okay, means here, this is your axis now. This is origin. This is the magnetic field present, the shaded region. A metallic circular coil of radius 1 meters. This radius, the coil's radius is 1 meter, okay? It is saying it's moving with a velocity of 1 meter per second. Now at t is equal to 0, initially the coil is like this. Means this separation is -1. See, this is like the coil is present, this radius, this separation. Radius is 1 meter, radius can never be negative. Radius is 1 meter, but this is the only trick that you need to remember. This separation is -1 because this is here at the axis, na? So this separation of the coil, this is -1 meter because this is on the left side of the coil. What will be the value of the induced EMF in the ring at t is equal to 1 seconds? See, this is again motional EMF, your coil is moving. It is saying, assume that velocity of the ring does not change. See class, we need to find out how much has the coil moved inside this. How much has the coil moved inside this? Like, let me redraw this. Suppose this is the magnetic field part. Right, this is the whole magnetic field part. The coil is present like this. It is going inside. So we need to see in these parameters, how much distance has it covered? Velocity is there, time is given. Class, can you tell me what's the distance?
Velocity by time.
Yes, that is, what's the answer?
1.
1 meter.
Right, 1 meter. Because this is 1, this is 1. Now class, what was the gap initially from the axis? This is the axis. From here your axis is starting. What was the gap that was left? -1 meters. -1 meters basically means 1 meter to this axis. Minus sign is signifying that this is just 1 meter towards this axis. Like if I give you, this is the coil, this is the starting of magnetic field. It is like this. Okay, this is like this. Now it is this separation, this extra part is 1 meter. Now it is moving a distance of 1 meter. What's the radius? Means it will be exactly aligned like this. The gap 1 meter, as soon as it is fulfilled, this center point, because the radius is also 1 meter, right? Radius is also 1 meter. So what will it do? This -1 meter, it was the distance left. Now it is moving 1 meter exactly. So from the origin, 1 meter was left. Now it is covering this gap and it is moving to 1 meter. So center, which was separated, now it will be aligned here. Are you getting? So where will now the center be? See, if this was the final margin of the coil, now the coil will be like this. This will be the origin of it. This will be the center. If this is the coil, this will be the center now. What was the gap? Extra gap was 1 meter. How much has it moved? It has moved 1 meter. So if I say, look it like this, don't look in the figure, look it like this. If I say this separation between this, let's say this bangle and this pen is 1 meter. If it is moving to 1 meter, it will come here. The gap is coincided. So the gap between the center of the circle and the origin was 1 meter. Now it has moved 1 meter. So will it be aligned like this? Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So now the L equivalent is what? It is the double of the radius. What's the radius? 1 meter. So length is 1 meter. Magnetic field is 1 Tesla. 1. Magnetic field 1 थी क्या थी? Yeah, magnetic field भी 1 है, length भी 1 है, velocity is also 1 meter per second. What will be the answer? 1 volt? Got this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Please write this question.